Hello and welcome to Biz Buzz with Bruno, presented by Mads Theatre. We're coming to you live on the glamorous Drury stage of the Bartell Theatre on the beautiful set of Moon Over Buffalo, which is currently in production, brought to you by the Madison Theatre Guild. You're welcome. And I'm here, speaking of the Bartell Theatre, I'm here with Zach and Paul, hello, if I get the names right, who are representing the Bartell Theatre. And they just announced their new season, all the participating theater companies. So first of all, Zach, we'll start with you since you're closest. Tell us a little bit about your participation and what's really going on at the Bartell now.
Oh, goodness. So I used to be the president of one of the resident companies, and I have now gotten a bigger hat and moved over to being president of the whole Bartell board because I am a glutton for punishment. And my first duties with the new board was to bring on a new executive director because our old executive director, Kurt Stantis, was retiring after, I believe, 7 years with us. So we brought in Josiah, who's been just about to hit his 1 year anniversary with us, and we're very excited to have him here. And we're really excited to really see now that the possibilities for the Bartell to kind of expand a bit more. And see what the future holds for us. We're getting out in the community more. We've been working with newer theater companies, local groups that want to use our space. We have that we've been used before, have come here before. So this summer we have Madison Savoyards back again for their show Pirates of Penzance. They were here last summer, and they've become now kind of an annual visitor, which is really awesome. We love having them here. We have other groups like Studio Dansu that have come through regularly with their dance programs, and many others like them so it's really awesome to see new fresh groups come in and use the Bartell space and bring in their respective audiences who may not have been here before. And one of the things that we've been doing is working on this last year was plans for a little bit of cosmetic upgrades to the Bartell. So this is our 25th season that we're just wrapping up, and we just announced our 26th season as the Bartell. But the building we inhabit is over 100 years old, and she looks good for 100, but she's 100. And so we want to spruce her up a bit, and so one of the things we're excited to announce is that we're raising funds to upgrade our marquee so that we can retrofit it with LEDs so it's more energy efficient, and we'll also put a new electronic LED messaging board on the front of the building instead of the old hand placard one that we have now. We're also looking to do some renovations to the lobby as well to spruce that up a bit so that it's a more welcoming and fun space for people to come hang out before or after a show. We have lots of other things that we're hoping to do as well as the funds come in. So that was one of the things that we are excited to announce tonight. And we have a new section of our website, bartelltheatre.org/project25. It has some fun illustrations of what we're hoping the lobby will look like when it's done. It's also a place where you can donate money if people are interested in helping us shine this penny up a little bit for her next 25 years of stardom.
And what's the website's information for people?
It's Bartell Theatre, theatre.org/project25.
And all the information for donating and everything?
Yep, there's a big fat link. You click on that and it takes you to the donation page, and you can choose to donate once or have a recurring donation, wink. And we'll be able to recognize you in various different levels that you choose. We can recognize you in different ways, give you some thank yous, and we'll put your name in our donor display that we'll hopefully be able to install in the coming year or so. But lots of plans still in the works, but we're ready to kind of get to the point where we can announce it and start sharing it with people.
Donate all your money. And I mean it, all your money.
Josiah, I apologize to you for calling you Paul because there's so many Von Trapps everywhere around the nation. I can't keep all of your names.
Hey, you're good. Those who are wondering,
no,
you're good.
You as Paul.
No, those who don't know, my dad's name is Paul. So, and we look the same. like spitting images. When you see pictures of my dad and I, we're basically the same person.
It's true. They really do. I know.
It's
For a fact,
crazy.
I bet it. So what would you like to add to what we just heard from Zach about the Bartell, since you're the new kid on the block?
Oh man, you just put me on the spot. I love this. It's just, I'd like to add, it's been great to be here for almost a year. Be June 6th is going to be my 1-year anniversary, and I've met so many people, and I'm still meeting new people every single day, and it's great. And we're getting new companies coming in. We have some other things in the works for next year with a few up and coming companies. One of them may or may not become a part-time company with us, so that's very exciting. It's gonna be great to have them join us, and then maybe we might add a few others. You never know. Our dreams are endless at this point. And then we also have some conversations, with some outside companies from outside of Madison that are wanting to come up here and put on a show as well for next year. So we're kind of in pre-talks with that. Just everyday stuff, It's great to be here. Walking into the Bartell it's an honor and it's a privilege and it's just awesome. It's really nice to be here. So come down here, see a show, come see Moon Over Buffalo, come see the show that's downstairs. There's an app for that. Come this summer as well with the Madison Savoyards and Studio Dance Sue and Strollers is going to be back this in June. We got theater happening pretty much every month.
We're back, baby.
Yeah.
We're back.
You also made an announcement previously about something for a first-time event that you're going to be holding.
The open house.
Oh, yes. I was like, hey, what event are we talking about?
Yeah,
I'm making things up as I go along.
I was like,
really,
there's a few.
seriously, you did make an announcement.
I mean, there's a few new things that we're kind of doing, I guess.
Yeah,
yes, we're doing an open house on Saturday, July 8th, and Benjamin Barlow, who's behind the camera, or I would say behind the computer monitor, kind of is spearheading that, and it's basically a day for people to come in and just wonder, what exactly is the Bartell? What is this theater? What are all the companies? Is there a way for us to volunteer? Is there a way for us to donate our money? And so it's from 9 to 5. It's a long day, but it's going to be a great day. It's going to be exciting. So hopefully you can come out and enjoy. We do need the volunteers. From front of house to volunteer technicians. You can find out if you're interested in being an actor, or you want to just do stage crew or not stage crew, crew. My apology.
I mean, yes to that too.
that too.
We'll have representatives from all of our resident companies here, so you can learn about all the residents that call the Bartell home, as well as the various committees that help run the Bartell. Hopefully, you can meet just a little bit of the literal volunteer army that we've assembled over the last 25 years that helps keep this place going. And you'll be able to learn that we're more than just that weird building with the triangles across from the Gotham Bagels. We're so much more than that. So yeah, we'll hopefully you can come out, you can see backstage a little bit. It's not as impressive as you might think, but you can come see it, learn a bit about all the ways you can help out, whether that's helping usher, help with the box office tickets, help bartend, help.
Yes, if you have your bartending license, come see us. We need some bartenders.
Learn about how you can help us keep our lights and sound and all our technology working properly, and then meet the companies that put the shows on. So if you are interested in helping with costumes, helping with set, helping direct, act, just come learn a little bit about how we do what we do. It's kind of fun.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
So this is just an open house. You can just come and go as you please. It's not like a ticketed event. There's no structural things happening at certain times.
Nope.
We promise we won't lock the doors on you to keep you in. We promise.
Yeah, they always make that promise. That's why I got stuck here years ago.
So again, go, the farmer's market's going to be happening most likely that day, so go enjoy that, and then come right down to East Mifflin 113, to that beautiful building behind the Y and the Old Fashioned. Come in and find out more about us.
Excellent.
So that's why our stage smells like burgers. Got it.
Could smell like bagels, you know.
Depends on the time of day.
But they close so early. We got to talk to them. They close at like what, 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yes, 2 o'clock.
Matinee, the stage smells like bagels, and an evening show, it smells like burgers.
See, it's all about aroma.
Are you sure it's burgers and
theater
not
of the
cheese curds?
aromas.
Might be both.
Good, wonderful. Thank you, guys. We'll be back in a few minutes with some of the other participating theater companies. And we're back with two of my favorite people in the world. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight. So instead, we have the lovely and talented Bob Moore and Bonnie Balke sitting on the sofa to talk about participating theater. Oh, how cute. So
Somebody's got to give us some love.
That's right. So let's start with Bonnie. Miss Bonnie,
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Mercury Players Theatre.
Theatre or
Theatre? Theatre.
You know, we're not too uptown. We go theatre. But yeah, for the next season, what we had been for the last two seasons post pandemic emerging, we had strictly booked comedies, but we decided it was time to kind of start getting back into some of the more edgy and interesting stuff that we have been known for in the past. So we're going to be opening our season in October on Friday the 13th, no less.
Nice.
With The Birds. Yes, remember the Hitchcock movie? It was Hitchcock based his movie on the same short story that this playwright based it on. The short story was actually written by a French writer back in 1954. So it's been around for a while, and people have been ripping on it for a while, doing different takes, as it were. And Hitchcock took his down the gory road, but Conor McPherson, the playwright in this case, is taking us more on a psychological thriller, a drama of what's happening when two people who don't know each other take refuge in this house. They don't know each other, but there are birds trying to kill them from outside. And it's going to be a very interesting kind of way to usher in Friday the 13th and the Halloween season.
And is this currently written play, or has it been produced anyplace else, or is this like a world premiere?
No, it has been produced elsewhere. I think the play was written, I believe, in 2015 or 16. And I understand from someone who was at the season announcement that he had just seen a production of this play elsewhere and was very, very excited that we were doing it here. Yep. And another great thing, we'll be doing it in a very different way. 10 years ago, Mercury experimented with seating the audience on this stage here in the Drury, and it was such a unique and fabulous experience. We're going to do it again with the birds, so the audience will be sitting on this stage with the actors doing their acting thing in the middle, and it's gonna. I think it's gonna add to the tension and the horror of the play. So
my question is, will you have real live birds flying around their heads and pecking at their eyeballs and doing all that stuff?
No birds will be harmed in the production of this play.
You just gave it away.
Sorry. No, it's much more of a psychological. There will be suggestions of birds that will hopefully scare the crap out of you.
Is it a two-character play, or is the mother involved as well?
No. There are actually 4 characters, 2 main characters, a man and a woman who are in the house, and then another woman comes in from the outside world and gives them some news about what's happening. And there is a neighbor. They think there's a neighbor who's still alive and watching them. Yes, exactly. So there are four characters.
And what else is on tap after the birds have flown?
After the birds have flown, then it's holiday panto time.
Love it. An annual event.
It's become a really neat tradition, a holiday tradition for a lot of people who have told me how much they enjoy it. This year, our panto is going to be, it's a holiday panto, Charlie Brown. And you can imagine Charlie Brown and the whole Peanuts gang, they're having an existential crisis because nobody wants to watch family holiday specials anymore. Everybody's streaming everything. And so they go to the island of misfit pantos where they discover that Rudolph and that whole cast of characters is also having the same problem. Nobody wants to watch family holiday specials anymore. So they set out on a quest to try to save the holiday special. Can they do it? We don't know. The play hasn't been written yet.
And then what?
And then, we do the annual Ball Drop Blitz in conjunction with No Better Productions. And it's a 24-hour play festival. On December 30th, they take play titles and character suggestions out of a hat. The writers write feverishly overnight, and then at 6 in the morning, they are obligated to turn their scripts over to the staff, whether the script is finished or not. And then the actors, directors, and tech people work all day to bring these plays to life. And at 8 o'clock that night, New Year's Eve, ready or not, the lights go up and the plays go on.
And the great thing about this is that anybody can participate in it.
Oh, yeah. So many actors have said how wonderful it is that they have trouble making a 6 to 8 week commitment to rehearse a full show, but everybody's got 24 hours to spare. So it's a really great way for people to still exercise that acting muscle a little bit.
And you have one more in the season?
One more. We finish out the season in March into April. We're going to be doing it's a comedy/drama called Twilight Bowl, written by Rebecca Gilman. And it takes place in the lounge of a bowling alley in a small town in Wisconsin, believe it or not, where bowling is king, of course. And one of the young ladies who's meeting for a send-off party is planning to go to college on a full bowling scholarship.
Which are so rare these days.
And one of the other ladies is leaving the next day to go to prison. So it's kind of an odd send-off party, and then we follow these young women through the next year or so of their lives as they're dealing with changes and prison and bowling and all sorts of stuff.
And is the playwright a native Wisconsinite?
I don't believe she is a native Wisconsinite, but I do believe that she spent some time here. She may have attended the UW, I'm not sure, because there are references in the text of the play to UW Platteville, UW Madison, just all sorts of references that are like, she had to have lived here for at least a period of time.
Probably on a bowling scholarship.
I would hope so.
Excellent. And all the information is also on the Bartell website, but it's also on the Mercury website.
Mercury no longer has a website.
Oh, they don't?
No,
Oh, okay.
we no longer have a website. Somebody stole our domain name. And
Well, how rude.
I know, but it's one of those things. It's like we are relying on the Bartell website for all of the information about our show. We do have a Facebook page, but I know nothing about that, as all of you friends who know me understand. I don't do Facebook. But yeah, so that's it. That's our season.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Should be fun.
Yes, indeed. Very cool. So, Bob Moore,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about your hats that you're wearing these days.
Yes. Why, thank you. I'm currently the president of Madison Theater Guild, and actually I've been working with Madison Theater Guild for quite a few years. Was their tech rep for many years. I liked in building, designing, well, and acting, of course.
Of course.
Of course. I mean, this was Ethel. I was head of Hopper. It was a wonderful experience.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two
that was
bigger
a-
egos couldn't be in a room than ours.
And I can't believe it was that many years ago. It seems like it was like just, a couple of winters ago.
Yeah, do you know who directed that by any chance?
Some hack.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah, that's it.
right.
Yeah, I got no direction from the guy at all.
Oh, no. Go out there and be fabulous. Done.
Oh, no, I was so, be Ethel.
Yes.
That was my direction.
And it took.
Well,
Yes.
you knew that.
I did know it.
Yes. You need to see her as Ethel Merman. Absolutely.
I do it now, but I'm afraid I'd blow the mic out.
I think the trailer is still up on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm pretty
wow.
sure it is on Ben Weideman's.
Oh, really?
Christmas with the Crawfords.
Christmas with the Crawfords. Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
up there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
So now
then-
you're the president.
Yes.
And chief cook and bottle washer.
Exactly.
And the
Occasional janitor.
Occasionally,
More
and
than
you're
that.
still at the old fire station
Yes.
on Monroe Street. So, what's going on with the building there? Is everything cool with it now? I know that's gone through many changes over the years.
You're absolutely true. We've had the building was built in 1937 as a firehouse, fully functioning. Madison Theater Guild took it over in the 60s. So it's a great space. It is, if you're going down Monroe Street, you can't miss it. Great old firehouse. Madison Theater Guild itself has been around for 76 years, so definitely a venerable place. The firehouse itself has been our primary build, rehearsal, costume, space, etc. However, this coming year, Strollers will be joining us.
Oh, yeah.
So, to help share the space, Ben is dancing and Leesman is fist, yes! Yep. Because, times are changing and we need to be able to share and collaborate as much as possible, and we're thrilled to be doing that. There is one thing, though. We, especially during the pandemic, since a lot of people weren't there, our roof developed a good leak.
I would say a better than good leak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in desperate need of repair, so we will be fundraising very soon. In fact, we can start the fundraising right now. MadisonTheaterGuild.org, the RE, and feel free to donate tons of money because we probably only need $40,000 to $50,000 to make it right.
I got that right now in my back
We'll
pocket.
just check the cushions. Is that?
So now, did that affect the costume shop?
Fortunately, where the water was coming down, it's very close to where the costumes are kept, but it didn't get into the costume rooms itself. And if, for those of you who haven't been to the Theater Guild costume shop, we have some amazing costumes.
Yeah.
In fact, was it just before the pandemic, we donated some pieces from right around the turn of the 20th century, so 1900s. We have just amazing pieces, but we can't use them on stage because they're delicate. And it just so happens that most of those are women's sizes, and adult women now can't fit into those dresses.
Yeah, all those
unless-
size 0 dresses.
Don't
that
have
they had
those
back.
waistlines.
Negative like 3 zeros. I mean, these are like 12-year-old girls or 9-year-olds can fit into these little tiny things, but they're gorgeous.
So tell us a little bit about your season.
I would love to do that.
Yes, season. Come on.
Yes. So, 39 Steps, we open in September. It is a raucous romp, detective, kind of spy scenario. It's fast-paced. It's directed by multi-award-winning Francisco Torres, who has directed many, many shows and has many awards, both national and international, to his name. So we were thrilled that he was back in town and was willing to work with us. Of course he's willing to work with us because he loves me.
We're making that
yeah.
public right now in case you didn't
Yes.
know.
Hey, I thought Francisco loved me.
He does, but I'm special.
Okay.
Yes. Although not in a romantic way. I'm still single,
Blood.
Yes, exactly. So 39 Steps is actually written by Patrick Barlow. No relation? Is that correct? No relation.
No, it's the Trops and Barlows. They've taken over everything.
I tell you.
They're everywhere. They're just everywhere.
Yep. Auditions will be this summer. It opens up in September, as I mentioned. And again, it's fast, it's fun-paced. It's going to just be a delight to see and be in fact. We even have Foleys. Whether or not Francisco wants to bring them on stage is still left to be determined. After that, we move into the Christmas season with Miss Minutes, Christmas in Pemberley, which is based off the characters of Pride and Prejudice. And it centers around Mary, so it's a very female-centric cast. And if you've seen Pride and Prejudice, her sisters romance, her not so much, but what's going to happen during this Christmas celebration? So, because MTG is a little more mainstream and classical theater, we thought that this would be a great fit for us because it makes a nod to a true classic, Pride and Prejudice. We're excited, and Kathleen Tissett, who has not directed at the Bartell for quite a few years, is coming out of semi-retirement to work with us, and we are thrilled. She's going to do a fantastic job with that. We did have a March show, however, it was a locally written production, and we decided to postpone it until next season, so that's why we didn't have a slot for that, but it will be upcoming. We are figuring out, we have a few choices, we're just trying to figure out which can we get rights to, because that's the big question. And then lastly, we are winding up with Welcome to Our Village, Please Invade Carefully, which was a British radio comedy. It is farcical in and of itself. It's fun. Jason Compton of Madison Shakespeare brought it to us, and I asked him if he wanted to direct, and after a little bit of arm twisting, because it's not Shakespeare, Shakespeare, yes. He decided that he would indeed join us as director, and it's going to be fun. Radio comedies are just great. British humor, that dry, the tongue-in-cheek, it's delightful, and that's going to be a great way for us to end our season in May.
And is it a staged radio play, like It's a Wonderful Life, or the ones where the actors are actually reading scripts like it's a radio station?
That's going to be up to the director. Oh. Yes.
I see.
Yep, what Jason says, we'll do. So it may be more traditional, or it may be set more as an actual play. So that will be up to him. And yeah, other than that,
Fun.
Yeah, we're just Thrilled as the Bartell's 25th anniversary is upon us. We've been MTG and Mercury Strollers have been with the Bartell since the beginning as the resident companies. We are excited and thrilled to be here as always, and we are looking to help make the Bartell a huge success as well. So it's great. We have the most collaborative companies that I have ever seen.
Yeah, we are all in we're in a space now where everybody understands that we all help each other.
Yeah.
We all hold each other up, and as long as each of us has support and caring for the other companies, Mercury is sharing its warehouse space with Stage Q. It has for several seasons, and now MTG and Strollers are entering into their little arrangement.
Yep.
And it's just it's wonderful to see how in the 25 years the Bartell has existed, how the changes in cooperation have just grown and blossomed and developed over the years. 25 years ago, it was predicted that the Bartell could not last because these companies could not get along with each other and could not cooperate. And now here we are 25 years later. Ha ha!
Yep.
Yeah, I've always said it's really great that all the companies are like doing combined productions with each other and doing collaborative work and sharing space, which 10 years ago, that wasn't even 10 years ago. That
Even
wasn't
10 years
happening.
ago, you're right.
I mean,
When I
it was awfully
started.
tough because the building is wonderful, but there's no rehearsal space. There's no place to build a set. There's no place to to hang your costumes. There's no place to keep props. So when you're a participating company, if you don't really share that common goal, you're each fighting each other to try to find space, to try to find the people, to try to find stage managers.
And ironically, that's how the idea for the Bartell started in the first place, is because these individual companies were just fighting to try to get the same really inadequate performance spaces, and they decided to get together 25 plus years ago and said, let's get our own place.
Yeah.
And here we are 25 years later.
Right. Because back in the old days, we had to do it in high school auditoriums, cafeteriums, or church basements, or places like
That's
that.
how MTG started.
Yeah.
And the high schools,
Yep,
and
exactly.
they went around.
My first MTG show, my first show that I did with MTG way back in 1990.
When you were 12.
Well, I was 12. It was at West High School. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first show at Madison Theater Guild in 1969 was also at West High School. It was the Unsinkable Molly Brown. That was the first show I ever did with Madison Theater Guild.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, it should be so exciting for you to talk with a representative from Theater Guild.
Yeah, you think it would be, wouldn't you? And on that note, we'll be right back after this break. You do this for a living, man. the double S's. And welcome back. We now have the glamorous representatives from Strollers and from Stage Q sitting on the sofa, where we just exited the lovely Bonnie Balky and Bob Moore, so sit carefully. So Joel, let's start with you and tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Well, I've been around Madison Theater scene since 1979, as we were just talking about, and had a little time off, and now glad to be back. And I'm a newly elected board member on Strollers Board. Years ago, I was on the MTG board. So I primarily act, and I'm glad to assist Strollers with the management of the company.
And tell us a bit about the season you've got coming up.
Well, we have 3 productions coming up, the first of which goes up on October 13th, Friday the 13th. And the first show is The Mystery of Irma Vep by Charles Ludlam, and that's going to be directed by Michelle Dayton. And we're in a co-production with Oh My Stars Productions with Taffeta Darling, also known as Scott Bennett. And what we say is, born from the theater of the ridiculous, Irma Vep is a satirical mashup of several different genres of theater, including Victorian melodrama, farce, The Penny Dreadful, Wuthering Heights, and Alfred Hitchcock. 2 quick-footed actors play about, 35 roles, I think. 8 male and female and others, and 35 costume changes. That's what it is. And they play 8 roles, and that may include a vampire, a werewolf, a mummy, Victorian furniture, and hilarity. So a comedy for our first production. We move into a very different type of production in our second one, which is going to run February 9th through February 24th. It's going to be Mother Courage and Her Children, and by Bertolt Brecht, but we're doing the adaptation, so it'll be much more contemporary, the language in it. It's considered to be the greatest anti-war play of all time, and considering the times we're in, we think it's a very topical play. It was written in 1939 as resistance to the rise of fascism and Nazism. And Mother Courage and Her Children follows the title character and her children as they try to sell their wares during the 30 Years' Wars to the various armies that are fighting this. And we're going to have, like I said, a modern translation. We'll have multimedia elements featuring scenes and tableaus of wars from the 17th century all the way up to contemporary times. And our last production goes back to a lighter production, a comedy, Shakespeare in Love. It's adapted for the stage by Lee Hall. It's from the 1998 screenplay by Tom Stoppard and Mark Norman. It's going to be directed by Sam White, who's been very active this year in very many different capacities. And it's based on the Academy Award-winning movie. It's hilarious. Romantic stage play reimagines William Shakespeare's creative process and explores his inspiration as he writes Romeo and Juliet. We're going to have live musicians strolling through the aisles during the performance, setting the mood for drama and a love-filled evening. And I like to say it's a love letter to the theater, and that runs May 3rd through May 18th of 2024. So that's what we've got.
And do you know, I didn't ask previously, but when do tickets go on sale for all the shows? Do you know?
I don't know, but you can always check the website. I'm being... $20 for the tickets, so straight across the board. I don't know when they go on sale, but you can always check the website for...
And Strollers does have a website, correct?
Yes.
And they're also on Facebook? Yep. Good. Thank you, Ben. So now let's talk about my alma mater, Stage Q, and what's coming up.
Oh man, I am so excited for this season. So one of the things that we've been getting over and over by audience members is that they would love to see both more stories centering around queer women and stories that are kind of more like queer classics that might draw in sort of our older queer community to either audition or come and see the show. And so we're really excited to be bringing in November The Secretaries, which is written by the 5 lesbian brothers, which is one of those, it's this hilarious horror comedy romp in the typical style of the Five Lesbian Brothers about these women who work as secretaries for a lumber mill. And everything, it seems like a normal job, and then suddenly it starts seeming not so normal, whether it's the very strict slim fast diet that all of the women are forced to adhere by, or the random lumberjack that goes missing every year. Without giving too much of it away, we are very, very excited for this comedy horror piece. And then for our second show, we'll be doing in February, end of February, early March, we'll be doing Torch Song by Harvey Fierstein, which is a shortened adaptation, still written by Harvey Fierstein, of the Torch Song trilogy. So it's a 2-act version of the show. Follows Arnold in New York in the 70s and 80s as he's trying to find happiness. All he wants is husband, a child, and a pair of bunny slippers that fit. And then a visit from his mother makes him realize he needs a little bit more than that in life. And then, as I'm talking about queer classics, how do you get more classic than the Bard himself, William Shakespeare? So we are very, very excited to present a very queerified retelling of Twelfth Night by Shakespeare. And so we have, again, without giving too much away about it, we're very excited to be making some of the queerness that Shakespeare was able to kind of hint at back in the 1500s. We're very excited to make that a lot more explicit in our stage version of the show. And then, of course, we'll be rounding out the end of our season with the 3rd annual Capital Q Theater Festival, which we are currently in production of the 2nd annual Capital Q Theater Festival, which is a weekend-long celebration that takes over the entire Bartell Theater, both spaces, the upstairs and the downstairs, with workshops, short plays, 10-minute plays, staged readings, all written by up-and-coming queer playwrights from across the country. And featuring local directors all directing these short plays. That's going to be running at the end of June in both spaces. I'm personally very, very excited for that one because I've been involved in both of the Capital Q festivals so far. And it's been a wonderful and great opportunity, both as I was still in college and wanting to get some more directing experience before I graduated, and now that I've graduated, getting to kind of jump back in and do some more directing.
So tell me a little bit more about your background. Where did you come from before you came to Stage Q?
Sure, yeah. I grew up in the area, but I grew up in a very conservative family, so I had no idea Stage Q existed. And then once I moved back to Madison, I ended up going to Edgewood for my theater degree. And I kind of heard about the Bartell through my partner, who is our secretary, who's hiding in the back over there. And as I was kind of getting ready to graduate, I started getting more involved, and now I'm the vice president of the company.
See how the magic happens?
It happens so fast. They won't let me go. Help.
They locked the doors. I've been here since I first came here.
Bruno wasn't joking. I've been sleeping in the back for 6 months.
It happens. It happens. And I know that Stage Q does have its own website, and they're also on Facebook, and the tickets are being sold through the Bartell Theater.
Yes. Yep, stageq.com. We will be putting the new season information up within the next month or two as we're winding down our current season. That'll be the next on our priority list. And we do feature sliding scale for all of our tickets. So tickets general admission typically, and the sliding scale is pay what you can, starting at somewhere between $15 and $25. I don't think we've set the ticket prices this year, but we want to make theater as accessible as possible, especially knowing that there are a lot of folks in the queer community who are at a financial disadvantage. We want to make sure that our shows are accessible to as many people as we can get in the door.
And again, what are the dates for this year's Capital Q?
Oh, 23rd through the 25th of June. Thank you, Josiah.
Knows all, tells all.
I was prepped for next season.
I'm sorry. I thought I could give you a plug for the one that's coming up. He's coming up pretty soon.
Yes, end of June, June 23rd through the 25th. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Perfect. And tickets are available for that festival already at stageq.com.
Lovely. Anybody else coming to sit on the sofa? Is that it? Are we winding down? Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here, and thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And we'll catch you next time on Biz Buzz with Bruno. That would be me. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, husband. Thank you, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Just deceptively comfortable.
Yeah, you're sinking, you never get out of it.